Peace, peace to the family. Peace, peace. What's good with you? Peace. What's going on with your family? What up, though? What's good? It's almost my bedtime. I wanted to get it in with y'all. You know? It's been a lot going on. You feel me? Like in just one day. There's been mad shit going on. So I didn't get a chance to chop it up with you. I figured that I get to tap in real quick before I take it down. Peace to the family. What's good with y'all? How y'all doing today? It's Thursday already. Never forgot when I fought the cops to defend another brother. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was reflecting on that. I was reflecting on that story earlier this morning. Funny enough, we was in the gym and we had Nipsey Hussle on a playlist, and I was just listening to his catalog, just going through, the memories. But I remembered what got me into that situation, and I was hustling in Harlem, like somebody just said, in 2007, and I got into an altercation in front of the Apollo with 8 police officers, 8 NYPD. They was the hop out, the stop and frisk police. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it wasn't in 09, it was in 07, right? I fought them. They tried to unalive me with the Eric Garner chokehold, and I fought them off. And that's really when I really got a glimpse of what kind of strength I really have. You know what I'm saying? Under the most egregious circumstances, when I'm left with no choice, the level of strength that I was able to initiate in that standoff with them, it really surprised me. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of like was one of my eureka moments. I was like, oh, damn, I'm capable of this. What else can I do if I really focused? It felt like there was 5-year-olds like pulling on my arm. It was amazing. Anyway, that incident led to me going, and I couldn't hustle on 125th for a little while because it was hot, like fish grease after that. And I had to go downtown. And we went to visit a friend of ours named Bang Out, who had a studio on 42nd Street. Bang Out was like, yo, I know somebody that's looking for video work, for videographers, because that's what me and my business partner, Majesty, we was selling clothes and things in the day on 125th, and it was subsidizing our journalistic endeavors at night. You know what I'm saying? We was hitting the city in the red carpets and everything with the camera. We had Street Knowledge TV, and that's when I had my YouTube up. I had a YouTube since January 1st, 2007. I was early in YouTube, and we ran up 1 million views real quick with our program. And our program was an identical program to a program we were running on public access TV called Street Knowledge TV, which was broadcast a Saturday night at 9 p.m. And it was #1 on a Saturday night time slot thing. And that was a big deal back then because, there was a lot of competitive programming. But we stuck to like the video music box format. We played videos and we broadcast, live content like my interviews, or I would be, on location, interviewing other people. And so Street Knowledge, and that was coming out of my previous journalistic career when I was doing Four Corners newspaper. I interviewed all of them artists back then. I just didn't record them until I started doing street knowledge. So we started doing street knowledge, uploading it to YouTube. Then it caught on. By the time I get downtown to have an interview, or we went downtown to kick it with Bang Out to see if he knew about any options that was open, and he did. He's like, yeah, I know somebody looking for a videographer. My dude Johnny Shipes, and Johnny Shipes happened to be the CEO of Cinematic Music Group. And Shipes was like, yo, I need y'all help. I got an artist that's shelved that I need to get off the shelf. I need to get some motion on this artist. You know what I'm saying? So we got to build out his online presence, because this is when the online media really started becoming a thing. You know what I'm saying? And that artist was Nipsey Hussle. So I've been speaking about this story for the past week. Probably people been asking me, and it's just been coming up. Shout out to my man X. He was asking me about the time that we spent around Nip. And I was just like, look, that's one of the few moments in my life where I took the back seat as a teacher. Like, I wasn't teaching somebody around me in my vicinity. I wasn't speaking to friends. Like, I was catching them up to something. That's the first time in a long time that I was able to just sit back and listen to somebody with an amount of wisdom that just had me, like borderline awestruck. Like, God damn. Like, son be going in the way that he thinks, his philosophical mind, the way that he was putting his worldview together, and his intentions was always very clear. He always had a clear vision, and he always spoke in absolutes, as if I'm going to do something, it's going to get done. You know what I'm saying? I'm already expressing from that space. That's how he spoke. He was a very dynamic brother, very, very magnetic. You know what I'm saying? He had a magnetic personality, very charismatic. So, yeah, again, I'm saying all that to say that when I reflected on the situation, I was like, damn, if I didn't get into that altercation with the NYPD in Harlem and get into that fight with them police, I never would have met Nip. You know what I'm saying? I never would have had the opportunity to work, at that phase of his career. I was speaking about my time that I spent around Nipsey Hussle from 07 to 09, right? And, working on that campaign and remembering the stint in the music industry. When I did work in the music industry, I worked at Epic Records, and I didn't work for them, I worked with them, right? They hired my company, which was Street Knowledge at the time, to do online media. We was the first online media company in the record industry, and that was, for the most part, based on our knowledge on blogging and YouTube. They didn't have no idea of how to navigate the online world, the internet, you know what I'm saying? So we came in there and we demonstrated, and shout out to Nipsey for giving us the opportunity, to utilize himself and his project as the catalyst, so we can jump that off and we was able to lay a game plan out that the industry has definitely, taken and ran and metamorphed. And that leads us to today's conversation. I really wanted to discuss what's been taking place in music and in the music industry, the latest, greatest information, what I'm saying, the latest development that has popped out is the actual filing of this defamation lawsuit at the hands of Drake, Aubrey Graham, right? He's going the distance and finally took that shot at UMG. And, I read the lawsuit and it's very, very interesting. You know what I'm saying? And it has far-reaching implications. It's not as simple as it looks. It's not as simple as it looks, because if he's able to catch a humdinger with these people, it's gonna be ugly. You know, he's making a lot of allegations. He's telling on a lot of people, though. My bad. Yeah, Aubrey definitely wants out of his contract. You know what I'm saying? He's left with no choice. They're gonna under negotiate him. It's new news today. Said he just backed out of the lawsuit. Regardless of whether he backs out of it or not, he laid down so much information. You know what I'm saying? He told us where all the bodies is buried. And that's going to give somebody, you know, the impetus to counter and come back with another lawsuit. I think that this is signaling the potential end of the music industry if artists become savvy enough and figure out how to use litigation. And I'm going to tell you how, right? The premise that he brought his lawsuit was speaking about creating dangerous environments in the workplace for employees. My thing is this: if you apply the same logic that he's using for defamation of character and putting himself in danger, how is these record companies have two artists on the same label to be spinning on one another? And they're releasing music just saying, I'm gonna unalive you, or I unalived you. They participate and they peddle in that level of filth. So how dare he be the one to say, I'm going to take a lawsuit out because you're putting my life in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? And you got me in a situation where I don't feel safe, right? But the music industry is peddling and refereeing in real life drill music, like the escalation of audio beef that ultimately manifests itself into body bags, right? So you trying to tell me that a drill rapper or the family of a drill rapper is not clever enough to see the parameters of this lawsuit and figure out how they can go to the big wigs and get a bag, right? Because this is the shakedown. Regardless of if he backs out or not, he laid the whole game out, right? He laid the whole game out. Yeah, he's a Karen. Yeah, he's operating in Karen capacities as Aubrey Graham. You feel me? But this is the penalty that we pay for letting outsiders in. He's dealing with it the best way that he knows how. He was taught by his mama. And he's operating the way that she would. But he's throwing stink bombs too. Yeah, the gates is open for us to take advantage. And I think that this is going to be the ultimate, you know, it's some legendary ish going down right now. We really can't see it because of where we at in history with it right now, in the present. But I'm telling you, this is one of those moments that have changed the game forever, right? The fallout and the repercussions, because they're christening this song to be the biggest song ever. This song is gonna go down in a different type of history, because it's always what I said it was. You're speaking about a song that operated in the capacity of a Scud missile, and I said this from day one. I said this before the battle even happened, y'all. And I'm sure there's some people on the line that could co-sign that. And if not, y'all know me. I'm going to bring the receipts and be rubbing it in your face in not too long. But before this engagement even popped off, I said, the Hebrew Israelite is going at the Zionists, right? The Zionists who put an album out the day before the skirmish popped off. And Is It Real? Right? Because the For My Dogs album came out October 6th at 6 a.m. by the 6 guard. He played the whole 666 on the release. And then he framed the dog on the cover on some 666 energy instead of the Adonis Druid. So he tied himself into that 666 energy. The next day they popped off. Y'all know what happened over there, right? And there has been this weird dance, this weird interaction, you know, with his what we can say, his entitlement and his privilege based on ethnicity. That he don't know how to play the Jew card and he don't know how to play the nigga card. He's just horribly stuck in between. And he learned the hard way that his people have no allegiance, right? They supply both sides of the war. That's how his people get down. And this is a wake up. He got his nigga wake up call and he got his real estate agent wake up call, right? All in one battle. He found out shit about niggas that he obviously didn't know about how shifty that they are, and they're gonna switch up in a heartbeat. And he found out about his people that they supply weapons to both sides of the war, and they celebrate whoever's the victor. They're gonna make money on both ends of the transaction. You feel me? And he got the wake-up call. So what does he do in the defamation lawsuit? He talks about how is it anti-Semitic. He's alleging that the top Jews on the planet, the Zionists of all Zionists, he's alleging that they have conspired in anti-Semitism against someone who says that he has no practicing allegiance to his quote-unquote ethnicity/religion, right? He's not a practicing Jew, but he's recognized as one and has benefited exponentially from the privileges that come along with that affiliation. But he obviously didn't give them what they wanted in terms of his unyielding support of their activities over in Palestine. He didn't play the game. He said that he was apolitical, right? But we had to see one of them get washed up. And that's what the premise of this entire campaign that our brother, the Hebrew Israelite, was waging initially when he said, they not like us. It was about the ethnicity, not that he was from Canada, right? He was like, nah, you an imposter. You one of them. You a colonizer. You feel me? You ain't 9 ether. You a 6 ether god. Slow down. Slow down. So it's an 81-page lawsuit. You feel me? On page 63, 64, they get all into the defamation of character aspect of where, you know, he says that this is anti-Semitic. From a true Shemite. He got ethered by a Shemite and came back to the other Khazarians and said this is anti-Semitic. Why? Because you did not protect my jewelry. You let my chain get snatched by this nigga who's not one of us. Talk about they not like us. They like, this nigga's not like us, y'all. What's going on? Lucian Grange, he said, my nigga. What you gonna find out today is the Yahweh that we motherfucking represent and worship. That nigga's greenbacks. Right? So we did the gematria and we cast our lots into the future and it said Kendrick, nigga. It said Kendrick. And what we not gonna do is practice false allegiance to someone who we think is going to be on the losing team, because the business that we're not in is losing. That's not the business that they in. They in the business of supplying both sides of the skirmish with armaments. And whoever wins, that's they nigga. So when homie said they not like us, when he said this dude is not like us, and he pulled his skirt and he explained every single way that he was gonna respond, that's the 1,000 death grip hit. That's when the gray beard hits you with the wada! You take 1,000 steps and then you die, right? On some Bruce Lee. He got hit with one of them, right? So this is the song that will go down in history that destroyed and discombobulated, you know, the biggest artists of the era. The biggest artists of that era, of that epoch, of this era. You know what I'm saying? This is unprecedented. We didn't see this with Ether. You feel me? But we're seeing it with a song, and it's almost if it's a declaration on the word, sound, power aspect that the reggae artists talk about often. You know what I'm saying? The power of the chant, the power of the incantation, the power of the tongue, the power of truth, the power of the flaming sword. You feel me? All of these things are on display for us to see, and the ramifications of which, you know, are all at our feet. You can choose to ignore it if you want to, but we're watching some very powerful displays of cosmic forces. It's not just a hip hop battle. You know what I'm saying? It's a paradigm shift, and it has ramifications that will ramify for a long time to come. But the lawsuit is something that needs to be studied. You know, the implications that are being made and the evidence that is being laid. You feel me? I think that he may potentially get out of this situation getting paid and opening up a lane for other people who feel defamed to come at these record companies and say, you guys are co-conspirators in murder music. Like, how are you now acting as if you are pledging to have a peaceful environment, not only in your workspace, but amongst your artists? For real, you got artists that drill one another on the same label. And this is an open art form that we all know about. There's several people, you know what I'm saying, that have been federally indicted for these activities, and all the while, the record companies have been complicit. All the while, the record companies have benefited. All the while, the record companies have been in the background, you know, receiving the lion's share of profit, of benefits that come, you know, at the cost of our young children's lives. You feel me? These are the things that are going on in real time. So it's funny that it will end like this and end up in a situation such as this, but nonetheless, you know, we're here, and it is what it is. So I wanted to go through some of this news that been popping off in the past few days. See what we come up with here. See what we got for y'all. Let me see. Oh, talk about brick. If y'all going out to join the MAGA, you feel me? If y'all got your hats and y'all ready to go full MAGA next Monday, boy, it's gonna be brick out there. You feel me? Make sure that you bring your animal fur. Make sure that you bring your animal fur. Feel me? The weather's gonna be going. Nigga, the hawk is going to be outside, making sure that they remind you what you finna get into. You know what I'm saying? Making sure they're explicit, should I say, right? Making sure that they're explicit with reminding you what you're about to get into. And we not being the prophets of doom and gloom. I'm just calling it how it is. Because everybody be talking about Obama's inauguration and how cold it was, right? This one is going to replace that. Feel me? This one is going to replace that. See y'all out there. Y'all going to be out there. I'm going to see you on TV. Right? We're going to be right up in here in Atlanta showing some respect to MLK on his day. So, real estate vultures are middle-class enclave of ravished LA. Right? So they're already making moves on Altadena. Feel me? They are already making moves on Altadena out there. You know, the wood is still smoldering. The fires are still burning. And they're already running down on families attempting to offer them peanuts for their property. You know what I'm saying? They're already seeing who they could catch slipping. So this is the true sense and the true meaning of community, where the individuals that have been impacted, yes, they still have to remain community. They still have to stay in communication with one another to get the latest information and the updates about, you know, who not to trust and what not to fall for, because they are here to exploit desperation. They are here to exploit turmoil. You feel me? So that is something that the family has to be very watchful and mindful of. You know, someone commented, just like Hawaii. Yes, just like Hawaii, just like Maui. All right, they're going to sweep through, and they're going to take advantage of the most vulnerable people first and foremost. And the people who need it the most, that are not insured, that don't have any, you know, anything to fall back on. More than likely the middle class. More than likely, you know, the proletariat class, the working poor, the people who MLK initially was standing tall for to begin with, right? Those people. The marathon continues. Same people we talking about. The labor force, the working force in this country. You know? So, yeah, we got to be very mindful of that. You know, I'm sure y'all seen them clips of them talking about LA 2.0 and all that hot sauce. All right, they ain't wasting no time. They ain't wasting no time whipping up the BS. Title of this article, I'll read it for you. It says the left is more unpopular than any time since the Cold War, right? Except in Starmer's Britain. You feel me? So shout out to the UK family. But globally, the ideology that you know is identified as left or leftist, right? The progressives, the liberals, right? They're unpopular globally. They're saying that these nationalist movements, right, are taking hold globally, and the right wing is surging around the planet. According to their estimates, more than likely, for the most part, you know, they're always talking about what's going on in Europe, and they're not factoring in anybody else. They're only concerned with what they're talking about over there. So, yeah, that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? The Europeans are identifying progressive populist countries based on nationalist pride and things of that nature. And that's how they're creating a block, and they're moving with that. They're beating their chests. They're crusading. You feel me? They're moving onward. So be mindful of that. Let's go to this next article. A lot of stuff popping off of the news, y'all. Just trying to give you some of this sauce I done been coming across. This says nightmares. Your dreams are for sale and companies are already buying. Right? They say your dreams are for sale and companies are already buying them. This is about marketing. This is about advertising. And this is about them scientifically having found a way to penetrate your dream state and insert ads, right? Market to the sleep version of you. This is where they at with it. According to the Media Images newly released consumer survey focused on Gen Z millennials, 54% of Americans aged 18 to 35 report having experienced dreams that appear to be influenced by advertisements or contain ad-like content. Even more striking, 61% of respondents report having such dreams within the past year, with 38% experiencing them regularly, ranging from daily occurrences to monthly episodes. Right? So this is what they're saying now, that they are literally inserting advertisements in people's dreams. People will be like, yeah, we know that. Cool. Well, here they go, just, laying it out, showing their hand, and telling you the science behind it. Feel me? The presence of major brands in dreams appears to be particularly prevalent, with 48% of young Americans reporting encounters with well-known companies such as Coca-Cola, Apple, or McDonald's during their sleep. Harvard experts suggest this may be due to memory reactivation during sleep, where frequent exposure to brands in daily life increases the likelihoods of appearing in dreams. Perhaps most troubling is the apparent willingness of many consumers to accept this new frontier of advertising. The survey found that 41% of respondents would be open to seeing ads in their dreams if it meant receiving discounts on products or services. This raises serious ethical questions about the commercialization of human consciousness and the potential exploitation of vulnerable mental states for marketing purposes. That's where we at with it, y'all. Despite these concerns, there appears to be limited interest in protecting dreams from commercial influence. Over 2/3 of respondents indicated they would not be willing to pay to keep their dreams ad-free, even if such technology existed. However, a significant minority, 32%, expressed interest in a hypothetical dream ad blocker, suggesting growing awareness and concern about this issue amongst some consumers. Feel me? So, yeah, it's getting crazy. Look, we even got some... They attempted to create some legislation to push back on it. I'm going to show it to you right now. The stuff is real. They're drafting up legislation. Smell me? Companies will be able to take over your dreams with commercials, scientists warn, and letter calling for laws to ban them. Nearly 40 dream researchers published an op-ed letter warning the public of companies taking over their dreams with commercials. This technology, called Targeted Dream Incubation, TDI, uses specific audio and visual stimuli, such as a movie, to induce specific imagery and sounds into the brain that people then see in their dreams. Our dreams cannot become just another playground for corporate advertisers, the letter reads, urging the U.S. Federal Trade Commission to revisit its policies banning subliminal advertising to include ads that creep up in your sleep too. Okay? So just giving you the heads up. Now, I said this the other day and I repeat it, the people who are going to need the Trump, the people who gonna need Trump the most, right, like Trump the least. And that's gonna make it real ugly. That's gonna make it a real sticky situation when they're looking to rebuild out in Los Angeles, and it's almost like they're handing Trump all of these victories before he even gets in office. They're cutting the legs off of his competition, right? Because Newsom's supposed to run in 28. So they're totally neutralizing him and sitting him down. They've decimated Hollywood, and now they got to come and kiss the ring of a Republican. And Hollywood is a Democrat stronghold. That's where they do their fundraising at. You know what I'm saying? So that puts them at a drastic disadvantage that they like him the least, but they're going to have to kiss the ring. So ironically, I've been speaking about his vehemence for Hollywood and the Christian rights. One of their main targets because of their culture was Hollywood. Now they got Hollywood on the ropes. And then he turned around and elects or assigns Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone, and John Voight as his Hollywood ambassadors. If Charles Bronson was alive, he'd throw him in there too, right? I'm surprised he didn't get Chuck Norris or Steven Seagal. You feel me? Trump is a legend. He's such a New Yorker. It don't even make sense. So yeah, he said they're gonna report back to him. You know what I'm saying? He's really on his Gestapo. I'm line this thing up, the way that they would. And anyway, very interesting how he's playing his hand and putting people of influence in his manosphere, in his world, in places and positions to be eyes and ears for him. They're almost like snitching on everybody. Feel me? Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a whole red wave of Republicans gonna unify to call for the head of Gavin Newsom so they can neutralize him for 28, and better J.D. Vance's chance of getting up in there. And this thing will be a clean sweep. They'll have 8 years of track to work with. So yeah, it's just very interesting, what we see in terms of this political cycle and how they are lining things up. Feel me? You gotta have to keep your head on the swivel so it don't end up on a chopping block. That part. Keep your head on the swivel so it don't end up on the chopping block. That's the best advice I can give you. Right? Another article. And I spoke about this when I interviewed Cornel West a few months ago. Again, the Christian right and the extremes of the Christian right are the neo-Nazi white supremacist organizations. So there's been an uprising in them training. They got like fight clubs that are not spec'd across the country. They're global, right? And these people is training. They training up for what they call Day X. You know what I'm saying? And Day X is the day that they, quote unquote, would uniformly pop off, right? And start a race war. Again, it's important that you stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And what exactly are you staying ready for? Whatever, right? You're staying ready for whatever. But, just please be aware that we are moving into a new frontier, a different time, right? And it may potentially be intensified. You should be training. You should be training. You should be training. You should be taking every opportunity that you have to training something. Training is not just training your body. You could be training your mind. You could be fortifying yourself. So, if cold was something that you couldn't stand before, you should learn to stand it. You know what I'm saying? If you can't swim, you should learn to swim. You feel me? Whatever it is that you need to learn to do, to be centered and to be secure in your own safety and security, those are the things that you need to do to fortify yourself. Because we are moving, into them times. There's no guarantees. You feel me? You don't know what's waiting around that corner. So, yeah, you got to be fortified in the mind. You have to be able to fast if you need to. You know what I'm saying? If you had to lay off of something and do without it for prolonged periods of time, can you do it without it breaking you down? Right? Yeah. The Greenland situation is interesting. I'm learning more about, why they will potentially make that move. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very interesting dynamic. Shout out to the Inuit people. There's an entire indigenous community up there. And they're, they look like they're not shit, as cold as it is up there, they not Caucasians. They got melanin in their skin, right? They have an indigenous look. They're not Europeans. They're indigenous. The Inuit people, some people will say that they're like borderline what you might call an Eskimo type stuff. You feel me? So they're a fishing community. They're a fishing people. And they up there deep. And yeah, the Greenland conversation is an interesting one. It's a lot of land mass. You feel me? So yeah, the inner earth, okay. I went out that. Yeah, you go to Mount Shasta if you're trying to get to Agatha. I'll tell you that much. Go to Mount Shasta. You don't got to go to Greenland. Right? But yeah, I'm not going to keep y'all long. We got an event coming up this weekend. An MLK event. Near and dear to my heart. Look, the Pope just had an accident. I was speaking about the Pope the other day. Right? He just dropped a book on Tuesday. He dropped the autobiography, and he showed up with a broke arm the next day. I don't know what's going on. You feel me? I don't know what's going on with the Pope, but keep your eye on him because everything that's taking place has something intricately to do in some way with the Pope and the portals that he opened. Because it all puts in the Golden Gate into play. And the Golden Gate is in the Golden State. Right? So look towards North California as something very monumental happening. You know what I'm saying? Something very monumental is being put into play.
Peace of the black family. So what happens to the dream deferred? We should never be willing to find out. Alright, the other day on MLK's born day, I visited his birthplace.
My bad. It's attached to the Bluetooth. It ain't gonna play the right way. I got the ad up on my page. Right? We got something that we put together that's super duper dope. Feel me? I got a news format that I'm gonna be rolling out in the next few days. It's gonna be like a morning news show, cause I don't see nobody doing, like the daily news with all of the newspapers, all of the news, the news of the day. You know what I'm saying? Getting your day started real early with that news report. I haven't seen nobody covering that. A lot of my brothers and sisters to be on the YouTube, they on there at night. But, you know what I'm saying, what about when you're driving to work? What about when you first get to work? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's there with the news to get your mind right? When I open up my app in the morning, I be going to YouTube looking for for news. I be looking for stuff that's informational, the latest and the greatest. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be popping out, like 7:30, 8 a.m. You know what I'm saying? With a news show. Cause I read all the news in the morning anyway, and I be want to talk about it all day. So I might as well just start getting it done in the rising, early after the gym. You know what I'm saying? That's when my downloads is the most prevalent and prominent. You know what I'm saying? And my bars be on 1,000. So yeah, I'm gonna utilize that time very usefully to chop it up about the news and give you perspective when the lights come on. Be like, yo, that's where we at with it. I like my perspectives, they check out. Yeah, I'm bringing the Sundays back. We're bringing Pope Pablo. Pope Pablo's definitely coming back. You know what I'm saying? I just needed a break to recalibrate, get my mind right, because it's going to be a marathon. Yeah, it's going to be a marathon. Mineral Ministries, we got to come back with a whole nother energy because it's going to be a marathon. We got to keep those cosmic lights on and keep the family informed about what's going on because, yeah, it's a lot of scripts playing out right now. Yeah, it's a lot of scripts playing out. But look, I don't want to keep y'all too long. I want to appreciate the fact that you took some time out today, hear what I had to say. And yeah, I appreciate you for that. You know what I mean? And I'm going to tap in tomorrow and we're going to pick up where we left off. You dig? I want to get back to talking about Laurie Graham. Yeah, I've been setting up for the Super Bowl breakdown, Carlo. I did something on YouTube the other day where I ran through the whole connection with the Super Bowl and everything that's going on. What's a good location to relocate from the madness? The continent, right? The continent. And nobody wants to talk about that because people feel the way that they do about the continent. But you be better off in a continent. I don't think it's going to pop off there. You feel me? Anywhere in America, I can't guarantee what the best pick might be. Because this place may potentially see, calamity. I can't say where the best place to go would be. Feel me? But yeah, the continent, you know what I'm saying? I'll go to South Africa, Kenya, something like that. Something in the interior. Lay low, become a globalist. There's a whole world out there. Yeah, I definitely would want to check out Baba Phil's lecture. Zanzibar is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? All right, hey, somebody said it's captured. Okay, all right. Each his own, Again, I want to say, once again, thank you. I appreciate you. I want to discuss this lawsuit in more depth. I'm going to get my notes together so I just don't be rambling because there's a lot of significant things that have come out because of this lawsuit. There was a lot of interesting claims that were made, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of potential scenarios that can be unfolding based on how this can potentially play out. You dig what I'm saying? So we're going to have to chop it up about all of them things that's taking place in the world of hip-hop. You feel me? And pop out. Hey, Africa's being Chinese. The continent is hella big. You know what I'm saying? Just because China's there don't mean that you can't be there. You feel me? America's being China'd out. So, what does that mean? You feel me? That excludes your participation. You don't even want to put your hat in the ring. Somebody asked me where would be the best place to relocate it just in case shit get crazy. I said the continent. If you want to be away from conflict, if you want to be able to move, you know what I'm saying, within the matrix to get your thing together, you know, so you can recalibrate and pan back when you're bigger, then the continent will be somewhere to lay low. The continent will be somewhere to strategize away from conflict, right? The weather's not going to be crazy, and they not necessarily bought, you know, they're not earmarked to be sending no missiles over there. So it's like, I'm just speaking about, somebody asked me about strategy. I ain't say that I was packing up and leaving the mall. You know, I wish as a people we would focus like on a Caribbean island to partner with. And we'd be like, yeah, you know, yeah, we snowbirds. We go over there and do 3 months. You know what I'm saying? We help build up an economy. We need, you know, we need satellite locations. We need places that we can do business with. You know, we got to open our borders up. Our borders, we got to do for self. Because, again, ain't nobody going to do for you. They are implementing, like, Donald Trump is white people's MLK. You feel me? And he is primarily focused on making them, you know, the title bearers of whatever this dream's supposed to be. And he's remixing the dream. So the old dream is dead. That's why you see Hollywood go up in fire, because they were the ones who cast the spell of the American dream. Literally, the concept of the American dream was put together by Eastern Jews, immigrants who came here and went to Hollywood and created an image of it, a fantasy, and they cast that spell. And other people from other countries, you know what I'm saying, that were impacted by that spell came here looking for the thing that they was promised on screen. Feel me? So that version of the dream is disintegrated. It's up in smoke. And this dude is gonna come in and rewrite a new version of the dream. And you have to know where you fit in that paradigm, and you don't get crushed by it or pushed out of it. You're gonna have to figure this thing out. Because ain't nobody going to take time to figure it out for you. It's going to be moving at a quantum speed. You feel me? So it's like, as much as we love complaining about MLK and his dream that we have exponentially benefited from, niggas be crying and complaining, but it's been 50 plus years, right? So where's the remix? Where's the thing that has phased out the dream that's non-serving to us? Niggas stop dreaming. It's been 50 plus years. Where the dream is at? Why haven't we furnished a new dream? Because a people with no dream is a dead people, right? You have to have a dream. That's imagination. That's vision. Where does your vision come from if you're people who don't dream? You're people that are sleeping, but the people that are not dreaming, that's very dangerous in a time like this. When other people are willing to do whatever they need to implement their dream, even if it's a belief of theirs, even if it's a dream, a daydream, even if they're hallucinating, right? Look at the pain they're willing to put in to bring that dream to a reality. Look where they're willing to take it. Look at their convictions. So, you know, we can laugh at these people all we want, but they're moving like a wave. They're moving like zealots. They're moving like crusaders. You feel me? They're moving like people who are compelled to dream a new dream because they have a leader that they can believe in. They have a leader that they are invested in. And they have a leader in Donald J. Trump that you know what I'm saying? This nigga's unpredictable. So, you know, they're, you know, yeah. You are looking at the remodeling, the destruction of one dream, the deferring of one dream, the remixing of a dream, the ending of one dream and the rebirth or the birthing of a new one. You feel me? And it's your job to ask, where do you fit in this incoming paradigm? And with that, y'all, I want to say peace, love, and light.